Hello friends, welcome to the 13th tutorial of Salesforce from Sketch to Advanced course. In this video, we will learn about flows. So suppose I ask you that I want the user to have the ability to create a new account record without going to the new button and filling all the field details here. So how is it possible? You will say that it is possible that we may create some Apex class and write some code and to make this functionality possible. But this is not required. We have a Salesforce out of the box feature which is provided by Salesforce itself and which is called flows, which is an automation tool provided by the Salesforce. So let's learn about flows. First of all, go to the setup and first of all let's navigate to the flows. In the quick search, let's search for flows. Basically flows are of two types. One is the screen flow and other is a schedule flow, auto launch flow we say. So let's click on new flow. You will go to the interface called flow builder. Here you can see the types of flow. So one is the screen flow and other comes under the auto launch flow. So what is a screen flow? A screen flow is a flow in which a user interaction is done. That means user is interacting with the Salesforce UI, like whether it is entering the input or selecting some options. Okay, so first of all, we will go to the screen flow and then we will learn about record trigger flow, schedule trigger flow, and other type of flows, which are basically auto launch flow, which executes automatically without the need of user interactions. Okay, so first of all, let's learn about screen flow. Clicking on create. Now here also you can see two options. One is the auto layout and another is the free form. Okay, so if we select free form, then we have to connect the elements ourselves. Like if I want to add screen element here, I have to drag and drop it and then do this way. So I will recommend to use auto layout flow. Okay, this is the interface for that, and these are the elements. Just a second. These are called elements like screen, action, subflow. They have logics, and like these are the actions like what we want this flow to do, like create a record, update a record, delete a record, or what else. Okay, so our requirement for this case is I want the user to have the ability to create a new account record without clicking the new button from the account object account tab. I would like the user to have the functionality to do so just from the home page. In the home page itself, I will give a section, and there will be option to create a new account, and to the user has to enter some details about the account fields like the account name and account type. So basically, we will ask user for input of some of the fields, not all the fields. Just for example, like account name is a mandatory field, so I will ask the user to enter the value for that account name, and we can ask for values of other fields as well, so that we can create a new account. Okay, so let's go ahead with this. Okay, so this was our flow builder. So first of all, we need to select the element called screen. Why screen? We need to select screen so that user can enter the input on that screen. Then only we can perform some action. And in this case, the action is create the record. Okay, so for creating a feed screen, we need to add some components. Suppose here I want to add the account name as a field. Okay, so in the component I will use text as the type. Okay, why I'm using text? Because I want to enter the name of the account, which will then create the account accordingly with that name. Okay, so we will add a label. Let's add the label as account name. API name will be auto populated, and let's make it required. If we make it required, user can't submit the button without keeping it blank. It's okay. Oh, just a second. Okay, and this is called as header, and this is footer. So we can remove the header as well or customize it as well. Okay, so in this case, let's give the header name as creating account flow. Okay, because we are creating a new account from the home page itself. Okay, and if we uncheck this, the header will be gone. So this is the way. And for footer, suppose in this case I want the user to add the account name, so there is no need of this pause button in this previous button. So in the footer I will go and hide this previous button, hide this pause button, and also we can customize the finish button label. Okay, so here I will write submit, so that user on clicking on submit the account gets created. Okay, so this is the way. And this was our header. So let's click on done first of all. I think we are yet to customize the header. Okay, this is the name of the screen, creating account flow. This is the name of the screen which I have just created. Okay, so just a second. So this was our input. The header, let's remove the header. There is no need of header in that. I have hidden the header. Okay, so first now we have created a user interface where the user can enter the account name. And now what we need to do, we need to create a record, we need to create a account. So we will go to element called create record. Okay, so let's give it a label create account. Okay, so now you can see these options, how many records to create, one or multiple. So now here, how many records of account we are creating? We are creating one record from the input user has entered, so we'll use one here. And now here, how to set the record fields. Here we will use separate resources and literal values in this case, because we will map the value of the field with the value we have taken from the user as an input. Okay, I will show you the use of this in the upcoming videos. So first of all, let's do this. So we are creating a record for which object? We are creating an object for account object. Let's select account here. Now the fields. This is called mapping of the fields of the account object. So which field we are mapping? There is a field called account name on the account record. Okay, so we are mapping this field with the value which we have taken from the user as an input. So you can see here it is populating screen components account name, which is a text value. We are taking the input, so it will equate it with the field value. Okay, now clicking on done. Let's first of all save this. Let's name the flow as account creation flow. This is our first flow, which is a very basic one. And what is the type of this flow? It's a screen flow. First of all, we will master the screen flow, then we will go to the schedule flows and auto launch flows. Okay, now on saving this, before activating, we can do one thing to just check the functionality. We can run or debug it. Okay, so debug is like we have in the developer console when we were writing Apex classes, there were debug logs. Similarly, here we have debug. Okay, so clicking on run, you will see the UI. Suppose I enter here Anirudh. Clicking on submit, you will see some logs here that all done, interview is started and transaction is committed, and you can just see whether everything is fine and the flow is working from here. Here you can also see the record ID. You can see in the result a record is ready to be created when the next screen is executed, and this is the record ID. Okay, so let me show you. Here you can see in the account a new account is created here. Okay, so this was from the debug, but we need to activate this. Okay, so that user can also interact with this. So we are activating this flow. Now the flow is activated. Okay, and suppose I want to make some changes to the flow, like adding some new fields which I want the user to give input. Okay, and then clicking on save. Then if we activate it, then there will be versioning. Here is a thing called version. So it's like version 1 of this flow, then it will be version 2. We have to activate the version 2. Okay, now the flow is also activated, but how the user will get the screen to be visible? Okay, for to get the flow screen to be visible to the user, we need to add this to the page, like this home page. I want to add that flow to the home page. So how will I proceed? I will click on the gear icon, click on edit page. Similar to like how we add lightning web components to the page, we will add the flows. Okay, so here you can see the flow option here, and here we can select whether we want the that section to be visible at the bottom or in the top or in the left or the right. Okay, so let me put it on the top. I will click on the plus icon, then I will click on the flow. Okay, now in the right side there will be option where you can select which flow you want to add to this page. So my flow name was account creation flow, so let's add this here. Okay, so clicking on save. Now we need to activate this as well. Click on assign as org default. You can see activation is successful. You can back it. Now here you can see in the home page itself there is an option to add the account name. Suppose I enter here ABCD and click on submit. Now let's see whether the new account is created. Go to the account tab. Now here you can see a new record. That means a new account record with the name as ABCD. Let's click on edit. Clicking on edit, you can see other fields as well. But which field is populated? Only account name field is populated because we have mapped the field name as account name to the value which we have taken from the user as an input. In the flow itself, you can take the values for other things as well, like number, site, type. Let me show you in brief. Okay, suppose I want the user to give the value for account number as well, so that we can add that value as well in the record created. So here we will use different type, like you can see text type and various type of inputs. So then we will use number type. Okay, so that user can enter a number. Similarly, we can use pick list checkbox type as well. Okay, suppose I want the okay, I want this like active or inactive. There are some check boxes as well. So this is the way. So this was a very basic flow we have learned in this tutorial, which was just to create a new account record from a home page instead of going to the account and clicking on new and entering all the fields. In the upcoming video, I will show you how to update a record. In this video, we have just created a record, but from the flow, we can update a record as well. Suppose this is the existing record, which is named as Anirudh, and I want, for example, this field, this type field to be populated with this value prospect automatically, not this way, like going, clicking on prospect and clicking on save. I want this from home page itself. So I will create a flow for that purpose and will take the input from the user for the type field, and then user can select prospect, and then when the user will click on submit, that particular account which is name as Anirudh will be populated with that value of that type field. So in that there will be a concept called ID, record ID. So we need to map the record ID of that particular account with the account the user is populating. Okay, otherwise how will it be possible? Suppose user has entered the value of type field as ABCD. Okay, then how will we know that we need to update this value or for which account? So we need to map the account ID. And what is this account ID? This is called account ID. So there will be a concept of mapping the account ID. So we will learn that in the upcoming video. Till then, you can do the hands-on and practice, learn more about the flows, And that's all from my side in this video. And you can also follow me on Trailhead. This is my Trailblazer account. You can navigate to this as well. I will share the link in the description of this video, so you can follow me here as well. And coming to the YouTube playlist, I will share the link of the playlist as well in the description. You can see that currently we have learned about Apex classes, how to create records, insert records in the Salesforce using DML operations and all. And from this video onwards, what we are doing is we are trying to do things without the use of code, which is the out of the box Salesforce functionality called flows. And that doesn't mean that everything can be done with flows. There will be a need of coding as well. So there is a concept called invocable methods. Using invocable methods in Apex class, our flow can interact with the Apex class and get some values from Apex class, and can also send some values to the Apex class. Apart from this, we have learned about list, map, and set, and also about profiles, permission sets, which is admin part of the Salesforce. Okay, so if you are new to the channel, then do subscribe, because many more videos are coming on the way to this. You can follow me on LinkedIn as well. You can search by Anirudh Garg simply on LinkedIn, or you can go to this URL. So thanks a lot.